Hi, obviously, or maybe not so obviously, you might have only picked this up on YouTube, but I've been blogging for probably about 10 years in type as Delphius Debate. The blog is delphiusdebate.blogspot.co.uk. I've decided now to actually start doing some videos because it seems to be that video is the only way to get yourself heard these days. People prefer just to watch and listen. So for the very first time you're seeing and hearing me, and I do apologise for the face and also for the voice. I have neither. I don't have a face for TV and I don't have a voice for radio, so this is why I used to type. That suited me down to the ground, but obviously it's not getting my voice out there. Okay, so I need to talk to you about what's happening with Brexit at the moment. First of all, the elections that are coming up, the local and European elections. Now, there are many posts out there on Twitter and on Facebook about spoiling the ballot in order to make a protest. So you don't vote for Labour, you don't vote for Conservative, you don't vote for anybody, you just scroll bollocks or I hate you or you're all rubbish across the ballot paper. Don't do that. That is the very worst thing you can do, because that is just, you might as well just sit at home, because that is not registering your vote. You are not putting a positive. Negatives don't count in this work, in votes anyway. There is no way of voting negatively. You can't vote against the Conservatives, you can't vote against Labour. The only way of doing that is to vote positively for somebody else who is not Conservative and not Labour. Now, I'm pretty sure that there are quite a majority of people unhappy now that on both sides of the House that the Conservatives are colluding with Labour and that Labour are colluding with the Conservatives to defeat Brexit, to actually come up with an alternative establishment plan rather than honour the vote or the result of the referendum that we passed back in 2016. We voted to leave, and we were told and warned during the referendum campaign that when we voted to leave meant leaving the single market, it meant leaving the customs union, and it meant leaving the auspices or the jurisdiction of the ECJ, the European Court of Justice. None of that's happening, not under Theresa May's deal. That is not Brexit, okay? It's Brexit in name only. It is the minimum legal definition of leaving the EU. Because on the referendum paper it said, do you want to stay in the EU or do you want to leave the EU? And we said leave the EU. And technically, legally, Theresa May's deal honours that, because it's leaving the political part of the EU. Yeah? So you'd leave the European Parliament. You remove all your people from the European Commission, so you leave the political part of the EU. But you're not leaving the mechanical part of the EU. Yeah, you're still in the customs union, you're still in the single market, and you're still, because of those two, under the auspices of the European Court of Justice. Not only that, the backstop, if it ever comes into force, is a binding legal document that has no get-out clause. We can't just turn around and say we want to leave, that we've had enough. Legally we can't do that, because it has to be agreed between us and the other 27 members of the EU. How easy is that going to happen? Not very. So in all intents and purposes, if the backstop gets triggered, we're in the EU forever. So this is not Brexit. Theresa May's plan is not Brexit, and that's why the MPs won't vote for it. They also won't vote for no deal Brexit because they know that there's going to be a small period of hardship. Yes, you know, I knew that personally, and when I voted to leave, but I was prepared to suffer some consequences in order to leave the EU, which is undemocratic. I'll go into all the details on another video, but basically I wanted to leave the undemocratic EU. I wanted to get back to a status quo where people working for me telling me how I live my life and taking taxes from me, taking money out of my pay packet, I want the ability to be able to vote them into and out of power. And with the European Union, you don't get that. They're still telling you how much money your country pays them. They're producing laws that you have to abide by, but you can't vote them in and you can't vote them out. If you don't like it, you have to suck it up. You have to swallow the medicine. Well, that's not how democracy works. Politicians work for you. You vote them in and you can vote them out. Anyway, all I would say is, please vote for somebody else. Don't vote Conservative, don't vote Labour. Now, I have to profess a bias here in that I'm a card-carrying UKIPper. I joined UKIP middle of last year, so I will be voting for UKIP, and I would urge everybody else to vote UKIP. Don't get sucked in by Nigel Farage's Brexit party, because they're new and it's just Tory-like basically. I don't think that it would get any traction further than Watford Gap. It is a middle class Brexit party. Forget it. It's just a Nigel Farage promotion vehicle. So let's stick with UKIP. UKIP are tried and tested. UKIP have a wide spectrum of members, both working class and middle class. They know the score, they've been doing it for years. So let's vote for UKIP in large numbers. And let's tell the Conservatives and Labour colluding together that is not acceptable. Either from the Labour end of the spectrum, if you're a Labour voter, or the Tory end of the spectrum, if you're a Conservative voter. I would believe that neither of those people would want collusion between the two parties, and this is the only way, come the local elections in May and also the European elections, this is the only way to give them your opinion on what they're doing around Brexit. That's all I would say on that score. I'd say vote UKIP and vote UKIP in large numbers, and come the next general election, hopefully we can do exactly the same again and get rid of the whole sorry shower. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.